Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ali Ettarnichi and at Ali Dose of Aspiration. And today we have a special guest all the way from UK. So he's a coach and he is known for his positive attitude. Yes, you can. So no matter what challenge, no matter what obstacle you have as client, in Harvey have the answer and have the formula that answer that question. And when you challenge him with whatever you are having, he will guide you or facilitate till to find the solution to your question. Please help me welcome my friend in Harvey on this podcast.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you very much, and it's my privilege, my honor to have you. And for this meaningful conversation that we will have here, my friend, it's for coaching. I know it's like everyone have greatness inside of them. Everyone have greatness that need to come out. But what make that greatness hidden inside?
Okay, for myself, I mean, I had a burning desire to do well from a very small child. The reason being is that I was one of six in the family. And my father, he worked for the police force the majority of his life. But it was a time when it was an honor to work for the police force, no big money, just it was like proud. I work for the police.
Hmm.
But having six children, he didn't earn enough money. And so we were hungry and always having to go without, because it's just the way it was. So I sort of made the decision when I was very young, not even a teenager, that when I grow up, I am going to have a different lifestyle. I'm going to create something different to this because I didn't want my new family and wife, when I got one, having the same problem. So I actually got my first job at the age of 12, and I worked for a guy who worked on markets, and he was a millionaire. And he said to me, I said to him, I want this different lifestyle. I
Hmm.
don't want the old one. I need different. And he said, oh, if you want to change anything, if you want to be different, you need to set goals. Well, the
Hmm.
only goals I knew about at that time was if you kicked the ball, it went in the back of the net, you scored a goal. And he's going like, no, 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 no. You've got to
Hmm.
write down what you want. So I did. So I wrote down what I want, but nothing happened because
Hmm.
just writing them down is not going to make happen. Then this guy I got on really well with, he had a short illness and died. And so I was like, okay, what do I do now? So anyway, when I went to leave school then at the age of 16, the careers teacher said to me, oh, what are you going to do? Because you didn't take school very seriously. You joked around all the time. So I
Hmm.
said, I'm going to run my own business. And they're like, no, people don't like you don't run their own business. And I said, no, no, I'm going to. They said, you got no chance. The best you can be is probably a chef. I'm like, don't, chefs are great, but I can't even cook toast. So how am I going to be a chef? I pity the people I feed.
Hmm.
Anyway, I thought, no, I'm not going to bother with that. And I started my own business because I really wanted a different life for me and my family. So I left school. I bought a 50cc motorcycle. That's the slowest thing in the world.
Hmm.
And brought some watches. I went to markets and selling them. And by the age of 19, I had a lorry, I had homes, I had a home and vans. The only thing I didn't have, though, I had no idea how to run a business still. And so
Wow.
through my naivety at the age of 19, I built this empire and then lost the whole lot
Oh.
overnight. So I didn't know what I was doing with this stuff. And at that point, I do remember because the night they said, that's it, it's all over, I slept in an empty building on the floor, concrete floor. And I was thinking, no, I am not giving up. I am going to create this new difference to what my parents had.
Hmm.
So I went into sheltered accommodation, and that was the start of it all again. So I sort of like said, right, and I refused to give up. I did not want that lifestyle. Now, I have five brothers and sisters, and they're all saying, get yourself a proper job. And I'm thinking, no, because my father had a proper job and we never had anything. So I obviously can't have a proper job because you don't get anything, you just pay the bills and that's it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take a proper job. And anyway, what happened was I thought, I'm going to run my own business. I need to run my own business.
Hmm.
So I thought I didn't have one penny, not 1 cent in the bank, but I seen in the newspaper, it said, start your own business, no, small outlay. So this guy came to my home and said, yeah. And this guy was like 6'5", so he's a big guy and built like a brick. you know, and he's saying to me, like, I was scared of him, to be honest. It was like, whoa. Anyway, he said, oh, this business is called network marketing, which I'd never heard of in my life. I mean, I don't know what it was.
How old are you, Mr. Harvey, at that time?
19, 19.
Okay.
And yeah, so he said, it's network marketing and you have to pay me £75 to join. Well, I had to give him a hot check because I didn't have 1 cent. So I only because I was scared of him, I would have said no, but because I was so scared, I wrote him the check. Now, the good news is in my first week, I earned £80. So that means his check cleared. So he didn't come back and take me out.
Okay.
It was like, whoa, you know?
Good.
So that was my experience. And then I had to get a job in the post office as well because I was in sheltered accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this job at the post office, posting people's mail through their door.
Mm-hmm.
This big guy said, when you're doing the mail, I'll meet you at 6 a.m. in the morning and I will train you. Well, he did. He turned up and he was telling me, you know, you've got to have leadership skills, you've got to be motivated, you've got to do all this, and you've got to have goals. And this goal thing come back again, you know? So anyway, so he did that, but he got me so pumped up. I had travel tickets that had to go through the travel agent's door for someone who was flying that day. Well, I got so excited, my brain was in overdrive. I put them through a Chinese takeaway door.
Yeah.
And the restaurant didn't open until 6 p.m. And then these tickets were for someone who's flying that day. So I thought, I best resign from here. I best resign, you know, because if I don't, I think someone else might just resign me anyway, fire me. So I resigned and I decided, okay, I'm going to go to one of these network marketing meetings. I have to see what it's about. And it was quite weird because I had no idea what I was doing still. And I went into one of these meetings and someone greeted me at the door and said, oh, what's your aspirations? So I said, well, I think I'm going to become this presidential. And now the presidential was the top position of this company. So, and she said, oh, and how long is it going to take you to do that? And I said, well, I'm going to do it in a month, you know? And she said, oh, darling, it takes 3 to 5 years. You're such a dreamer. What is your background? I said, well, I don't have any background. She said, you've got no chance. You'll never make it. Well, 6 weeks later, I went to my next meeting and I got recognized for doing presidential in just 33 days.
Wow.
So and my turnover for that year was I was £3 million in my first year. Yeah. Amazing. So my goal has always been, you know, and I've trained thousands of people and, you know, I run my own coaching business, as you know now. And I always say to people, you know, the people I enjoy working with the most are the people who have been told you can never make it. It doesn't happen to people like you, because that's what I was told. Yeah. And I've never looked back. So that was my introduction to why have I got a drive to go and do it all, you know, because I was not going back to what my parents suffered from. Not a chance, you know.
Wow. And, I love it. I love what you just said there, my friend. At the age of 12, you knew clearly what you want. You don't want to work for anyone. So the fire inside of you was boiling that you see your father was working.
Yes.
But the hunger, he said, okay, I want to do something for myself. And that was the fuel that pushing you. At the age of 19, you were already having your own house. You were having your own kingdom and you lost everything because you didn't know how to manage it. Exactly. And you still keep pushing and you get into the goal that keeps repeating and you hear that goals. And you join that network marketing. And it just, the lady didn't believe in you. Said, no, you can do it. But you knew in your head, there is like a gut feeling. There is like a little voice inside of you knew that you will achieve it.
I had no choice. If I failed, I had to go and get a job. Well, I know a job gave me nothing. So I had no choice.
100%. And I heard someone mention to me once, and now it makes total sense. He told me, if you are working for someone, for a company or for someone, you are a slave.
Absolutely.
And I see it because you will wait for that raise maybe 2-3 years. They will add maybe $1, a raise of $1 an hour. If you want to get your vacation or something, you have to wait, maybe work 1 year to get 20 days. But you don't see your income multiplying or tripling or more and more. But you will do that when you are entrepreneur or you own your own business.
Yeah.
And that will just bring me to the next question, my friend, is like you see, like you said, you like to work with people who hear that you can do it.
Yeah.
And is that the foundation that you know that they have that hunger? They are hungry for success and recognition.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is that, you know, some people are born with a golden spoon. They're given everything and there's no value to it. You know? For me, I was absolutely, I remember the night I slept on the empty building, the concrete floor, it was freezing, you know, and I think that Les Brown's, one of his quotes sums it up, because he says, when life knocks you down, make sure you fall on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. And I remember lying down the night, freezing, out of control, thinking, no, I am not doing this. I am getting back up again. And of course I did. And you know, I tend to specialize because I really like to see people develop. I love to see people go from nothing to having everything. And it's the people who put the time in. If people put the time in, and I'll put the time in with them. And I must have seen thousands of people over the last 30 years who have been told it doesn't happen to people like you. You'll never be able to do that. I get great pleasure in taking them through my coaching program, see them come out the other side and fly like eagles, because it's absolutely incredible. The satisfaction you get from seeing someone who is like, whoa, is absolutely incredible.
Fly like an eagle.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Did you know the story of the eagle? That the freedom flight.
Push them out the nest, and that, absolutely.
It's the eagle. Usually, they live up to 70 years, and when they reach the age 30, they have their talent gets so weak, their feeder gets so heavy, and their peak they can't even catch. So they have two choices: either to stay that way and die, or to take about 3 months and go to the top of the mountain and stay on the nest. And they have to pick, like plug every part of their feeder and wait for it till it grow. And they take their talent, they cut it and wait for it till it grow. Then he have to break his pick.
Yeah.
And after that, he gain another 40 years.
Wow.
And that's why
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question. But when you said the eagle fly, that's brought this story to my mind. And when the eagle did all of that, after 3 months, I believe, he does the freedom flight, what it's called the freedom flight, and gain 40 years. So if it stay there and feel victim and yes, and why this happened to me, will die eventually at 30 or 31.
Yeah. That's great. I've learned something. I always learn something. I always learn things, you know.
Oh, I always learn something. That's my philosophy in life. I do in my life. Whoever I meet in life, I make sure I take something. At least I make something. And it's just amazing what you share with me. Like you enjoy, because you are all about service. You are all about helping other, and that give you joy to see people. Because I like what you said. You said love to see people to go from having nothing to have everything. Because you were lying there on the floor, on the concrete floor, have nothing. And that you anchor to that feeling, and you don't want anybody to go through that.
No, exactly.
And probably that's your passion, my friend, and that's what because you are doing it for passion, you are doing it to see people succeed. Do you have any story to share, that something that really some client or something that they thought that they will never be the people they want to be, and it's just the mindset, huh?
The thing is I've been in this industry of personal development, on leadership, on motivation, on mentoring all of my life. But I've also been out at the sharp end helping people build their business. Let me tell you my very first experience of network marketing. So I was told that, you know, all you have to do, go to people's home and they'll give you the £75 and away it goes, you know. Anyway, I went to this person's house the one time. Bear in mind, I'm 19. I come from the countryside. So I'm very sheltered. So I go to this person's house because she said I might want to do the network marketing. And when I went into her house, you know, she come into my kitchen, and in the kitchen was like racks of like underwear. There's all this underwear, everything, you know. Now I come from the countryside and I'm naive. So I'm thinking, anyway, so I started talking to her and I'm shaking, thinking, what's going on? So what I did, She said, I think I like to do this. I said, no, what has to happen, I'll go away, and if you've been successful, then I'll come back. Because as what she did during the time I was trying to talk about it, she was like opening her blouse and all that. I'm going, wow, what is this about? You know, someone rescue me. I'm 19. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I said, okay, look, I'm going to have to go, and I'll let you know if you've been successful. Well, she rang me up and said, I really want to do this, and I've got the check for £75. So I thought, okay, think. So what I did, I got a card and I wrote on it and said, sorry, you've been unsuccessful. And so I parked my car around the corner and I crept up to a house, and she had the doors that slide open. So I opened the mailbox, I was putting the card through the door. And as I did, the door slid open. And she was there, just standing there, now on my knees, because I'm putting these through at the bottom. She's standing there, you know, and I'm going, you've been unsuccessful, and threw the card after I left.
Run.
I have had so many experiences in this industry. It's unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. It really is. I could write 5 or 6 books just on the experiences that I've had within the industry. But the one thing I always say to people, because lots of people ask me as part of their coaching, is, can you recommend a good book? People say to me, can you recommend a good book? Well, I always say the best book I can recommend to you is one where the author has been out in the field and done the work. Because there is no substitute for going out there amongst it, because how you think it's going to happen is not how it happens in the real world. There's all sorts of stuff. When I was building a network marketing business, I was given a baby to hold, and the baby peed all down me. I sat on someone's couch and my feet were up in the air. I fell straight through it. All of these things are real life that happen. So I always say to people, if you're getting some amazing books out there, if you're going to buy a book, make sure the author has been out and done the field work, because they are really going to know what's going on. And I think that's quite important, because otherwise, you know, you say this is how it's going to happen. Then when it doesn't, people get demoralized and think, oh, it's not for me. So it's important to share the true experiences. Yeah. But it is great fun to be out in the field with people.
100%. And people will trust or will believe someone who is authentic and someone who did it and make it happen. And they like on your biography, you mentioned that I won't tell you something to do if I didn't know or I didn't do it myself.
Yes.
And that's powerful right there, because you did it and you've been there, and you know how it is. And we have a saying back home in Morocco. It say, listen to the patient, not to the doctor.
Yes.
If the patient been there and he felt it and he went through it, the doctor, yes, will give you the medication, will tell you, but he didn't go through it and he didn't live it, he didn't experience it. And the patient will showcase it to you because he's been through that. And what does being authentic in this
What was
field,
that, sorry?
being authentic in this field?
I'm not quite sure what the last word is you're asking me.
The question is being authentic.
Oh, being authentic.
What does it mean, like in this field?
Oh, well, I think, you know, that you have to be genuine. There's no doubt about this, you know. If you're not real with people, you see, when I train people in network marketing, I mean, I mainly spend my time now on coaching and motivation, leadership and public speaking. But when I'm training people, I always say to them, you know, because people say, oh, this industry is easy. You know, and of course, what happens then is people go and knock on the door and someone says no, and they get rejected. And then by about number 3 or number 4, now they go to the first person who says no. The second person says no. Their enthusiasm disappears. By the third one, it's like, I'm sure you're not interested, but would you? And they're like, no. So what I always tell people to do is, right, you cannot bring anyone into this business until you have got at least 10 people who will say no to you. Now they go to the first person and the first person says no, and it's like, great. The second person says no, it's like, yes. The third person says no. So they get better all the time, because I always say, if you don't get 10 people saying no, then I will not work with you. And so they get, you know, more excited. So by the time they get number 5 and number 6, someone says, they're so enthusiastic, they get near that 10 no's. It's like, someone says yes. And so it's the opposite way around, but it's the real world stuff. I once had someone who I did recruit, and I said, you have to go and get 10 people say no before I will work with you. Well, I had a message on my phone, and it was this person saying, please ring me, please ring me, please ring me. I was on an appointment. So anyway, so I rang the guy up, and he said, look, I know you said I have to get 10 people saying no, but I've only got 6. This person's got the money. She really wants to join. Can she please join? So I'm like, okay, on this occasion, you can let them join. Well, I got home and my wife said, are you actually losing it? And I was like, why would you say that to me? She said, I've had some guy on the phone all afternoon. He wants to recruit someone. I told him to recruit, and he said, no, Ian said I can't recruit him, so I've got 10 no's. So I said, oh, well, let me have to explain this, you see. So I always, people, you know, you've got to tell people the truth. You've got to be authentic. You've got to say, this is how it really works. People will let you down. People will disappoint you, but you'll also get your acres of diamonds. But you just have to go and get through the rough time and find the diamonds, and then we can polish them up and give you proper diamonds.
Beautiful.
Yeah?
Beautifully said, my friend. That's totally, I'm there with you 100%, because being open, being authentic, being upfront is what the client want to see. Because a lot of coaches nowadays, and you have a lot of experience, and you see that probably like in this field, a lot of coaches, they think like to be a coach, it's all about money, and they will be rich overnight.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they were like, and that it doesn't work that way. It take a while to build your clientele. It take time to deliver, because it's all about the result.
Yeah.
And I saw something this morning. Someone posted on Facebook. It said, "Don't let your perfect stand in the way of your good."
Yes, that's very good. Yeah.
Don't let your perfect. And a lot of people want to be like, I'm a perfectionist. I want this. I want it this way and this, and they never start. And the problem is, do you hear me, Jon? Good?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And the problem that a lot of people, I think, facing is to start. A lot of clients, like, they want to start, do something, and they get stuck in that dilemma of, I don't know how. But if you have the why, that's all you have to worry about.
Yes.
You knew from an early age, from 12 or from 19, that you don't want to work for anybody else except for yourself. And you didn't care about how you are going to do it. But
no, I don't care. No.
How follow? Because the why is clear and the why is going. So the whys will catch up and will come after.
Yeah. I think the one thing I mean, I do a lot of coaching now, a lot of mentoring. But if people want to check me out at ianaharvey.com, the first page says, have a free 30-minute consultation. So I give everyone 30 minutes where let's just see if we've got chemistry. Because I don't want to just take people's money. For me, the result is more important than the money. So if someone sits in front of me and like says, well, I'm not really interested, you know, I'm a bit of a loser and I'm not really I say, stay where you are. Don't give me your money.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm looking for those unpolished diamonds. That's what I'm looking for. Now, I listened many years ago, because this goal setting is important. And when I was only 19, I was told you need to get Zig Ziglar's goal setting program. And I must have listened to that hundreds of times. And the one thing that come out of it, which was like, to be successful, you're going to have to pay the price. That's just how he said it. It was stuck in my mind all the time. So I understood what that meant, though. It means I need to take control of my mind. I need to stop it from wandering. So I needed to become the CEO of my mind. And I did. I thought, right, I can do this. So I took control, because the one thing people keep getting asked so many times is, think outside of the box. Well, I have to stop people and say, sorry, I can't do that. I don't have a box. You see, the box is just something you mentally put around your mind, and it's to protect you from the disadvantage, from the disappointment. And, you know, for me, it's like, okay, if you have a box, and I tell everyone on my coaching program, if you have a box, the first thing we need to do, we need to get rid of it. We need to bin it, trash it, burn it, get rid of it, because all it is limitations on your belief. You are holding yourself back. So just get rid of this box and let your mind go free. And you'll be surprised how many people hold themselves hostage with mental barriers. Well, I help people get rid of those mental barriers because life is for fun. You know, don't cloud your brain, you know, and I've known now for 30 years, you've got to become the CEO of your mind. And I run a training program, becoming the CEO of your mind, you know, and people have all sorts of baggage in there. And it's like, throw it away, get rid, let's go for it, get rid of that box, you know, and you'd be surprised because then I was thinking, oh, I can think now then. Yeah, come on, let's have some fun with this, rather than like, well, I'm not sure and what have you. You can do anything you want in life if you want it badly enough.
Wow, that's just show how authentic you are. I love it, because you said about the you give 30 minutes just to see if the client is going to be someone that will is the chemistry is there or not.
Yeah,
And that's very powerful in this field, because you will know, because it's not all about the money, it's about the result, it's about the headache. It could be someone give you the money but will have a headache all the time, and energy and all that affect for the long run.
yeah,
And it's and what's his name, Simon Sinek, he said you have to work with someone who is aligned with what you do, or who believe in you. Like
with
if
your
I come
belief.
to
Yeah,
someone and he say to you, okay, can you convince me to do it? He said, if he said just that from the beginning, I said, no, I don't want to work with you. Convince me. Do I have to convince you to do it? If you don't believe in me from the beginning, there is no point. Just
no,
that's from there. And people, we grow together. We do things together. That's how we will be successful. And it's about like the mind, as you mentioned. The mind is very powerful.
yeah,
And for the body, the engine of the body is the brain.
yeah, yeah,
And when you take care of the brain, it will take care of the control of the whole body. So the
yeah,
same thing for the machine. The machine, what controls the machine is the engine. And when the engine, now the function of the engine, you control the machine. And
yes,
you just hit the spot right there when you say the brain, when you control it, it's all about the mindset. And you
yeah,
understand it. It's so powerful. When you understand how the brain function, you can achieve anything.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things out there right now, because part of my coaching program, see, I want people to get a result. I want them to feel how I felt when I made it. You know, I want them to feel like, okay, you are now on this concrete floor looking up, but you're looking up so you can get up and let's get this job done. There's a couple of things that hold people back a lot. The one thing that holds people back a lot is the television, because at the moment people love to be part of a drama. And so everyone is this. Some people are telling me, I'm listening to the TV for 6, 8, 10 hours. I'm listening all about the virus. And I'm saying, what can you do about the virus? And they can do nothing. They're becoming experts in the virus. And I'm saying, invest that time in yourself, in personal development. Read the books, get the audio programs. You can do nothing about the virus. It's slowing you down. It's putting the cage back on you. Leave it alone. But the biggest thing that people have now, their television used to be the biggest thing. The new biggest thing now is this. I don't know if you can see it. It's the cell phone. Because what happens is people get on there, they get the head down, and they're scrolling for hours. All you can see is like bowl patches. It's like scroll. You know, and I even seen a guy walking through our village with his head down, scrolling, and boom, he hit a post. He had to get the ambulance and go to the hospital. His head was all blood, you know? And it's like, with this cell phone, with the mobile phone, do what you've got to do with it, turn it off and put it out the way. Ignore it then and get on with your work. Because people are like drifting.
He's in the ambulance and probably still looking at his phone.
Yeah, it's like, it's taken over from the television because everyone streams now. And people, I'm convinced that the next new product on the market has got to be a product for neck ache, because everyone's got their heads down. They are going to have a bad neck, you know. So it's like, give them some pills to get their neck right. And it's true. It's like crazy out there.
100%, 100%. And the TV and the phone are the biggest enemy, for are the dream killer. That's what they call
Yeah,
them. TV and the phone.
yeah,
And the last few months, actually, I reduced like not watching TV and the phone. And it's amazing how much connection you get just by writing, by reading books, and just the connection with who you are.
yeah, yeah.
And nowadays, the society is missing that connection. You see the parents sitting at the same table, having lunch or supper, sending a message to his mom. Mom, supper was good. Instead of telling it to her at the
Yeah,
same table,
exactly.
sending a text message.
Yeah. But in our house, I have 4 daughters and we have 6 grandchildren. And when we're having like dinner, which we do, they all come occasionally, it's like, okay, leave your phone out of the room. Because otherwise, even when we're having dinner,
Yeah.
it's like, put your phone down and let's have a conversation.
Hmm.
Let's talk about something. Rather than it's like, just get rid of it. Let's get a life.
Exactly. And if you just use that like 6 hour, 5 hour, like you use on the phone.
Yeah.
Imagine like you use that one like 5 hour a week,
Yeah.
not even like the problem like 3 hour a day or sometimes more, just on Facebook or social media on news. If you use that one for self development, you will be ahead of the game big time, and you will
Massively.
have like a business on your own. But people don't see that way. They just see, oh look what actor he's doing. Look at he just get divorced. Oh, I feel sorry for that actress. You have more thing in your life than that actress. He got it done. He got it achieved. So he worry about your own.
I agree with you. I agree.
But the problem is just like people. I think it's been programmed. People being brainwashed, but it's they brainwash themselves by themselves.
Yes, yeah. I
Cause
tell you what is going to happen though.
hmm,
There's a definite shift going on, and we're not going to go back. I mean, last year I did over 100 flights, and it was off the flight. Give me the microphone. Let me talk to hundreds of people or thousands of people. Back on the flight. Next one. Give me the microphone, and that was very expensive. So now I had to retrain to talk to this computer screen that never answers me back. So that's quite rare, you know. So anyway, so I had to adjust. The thing is now I don't need to pay for hotel rooms. I don't need to pay for flights. I can stay at home with my family more often.
mhm,
And that means I can give more back to society because I can share the wealth. What's definitely happening is a transfer of wealth going on. We're never going to go back now. This is going to be the norm. Sure, there'll be some big events, but in general, this is now going to be the norm. And the thing is, that means there's a transfer of wealth going on. And I really do believe there will be new billionaires, new millionaires created, but also there'll be lots of witnesses. Now, the witnesses are the people who sit on the side and say, it will never happen. You'll never make it. Get yourself a proper job. And my analogy on it is, well, the witnesses sit on the side so the new millionaires and billionaires can come through.
Love it, love it. That's Mr. Brown say that a lot.
Yes.
There will be billionaire and a millionaire and witnesses.
Yes.
And those witnesses, they were the one who saying to the billionaire and millionaire, you can't do it. You are just dreaming. You are just out of your mind.
Yes.
But they will see them happen and say after a few months, they will come, all right, how you did that again? Can I just learn from you? Who are you? I thought you said they can do it. So what happened?
Yeah. The only thing that stops people from achieving it right now is their mind. If we can get the mind of people pointing in the right direction, then they are going to have an amazing time. And because I had not 1 cent, not 1 penny in the bank when I wrote out the hot check for £75, because of who I am, I went after it that week like a madman. Because not only because the guy was a giant and he'd probably kill me if I bounced his check, but I thought, right, if there can any chance of being an opportunity here, I am going to take it. And part of my coaching program is getting people to go deep inside them, because I think what a lot of people do, I can give you a good analogy. I tell stories because people remember the stories, you know?
100%.
And if you imagine now, if you were to walk, just imagine you're in California and you've just walked down the garden, there's an orange tree, You pick the orange off the tree, you bring it up back into the breakfast room, and you squeeze it. Now, you've picked this off the tree, you've squeezed it, but orange juice didn't come out. Apple juice came out of it. Now, can that be possible? It's a tree, it grows oranges, you squeeze one, no one else has touched it, but you get apple juice. And people say, Ian, crazy, cannot happen. And I say, you know what? You are right. But what a lot of people do is they say one thing on the outside, like, I'm an orange, but on the inside, they're believing something like lack of faith, lack of belief. And so when you squeeze these people, what they're telling you doesn't come out.
100%.
What comes out is something totally different. So I always say to people, when you're feeling a bit negative, when you're questioning your belief, think about the orange. Give yourself a squeeze and ask yourself what's about to come out of you. Because you see, you need to be an orange on the inside and the outside. You can't be one or the other, because otherwise you're going nowhere, because you're not going to get the right chemistry. And to get that belief, 100% belief, drive, enthusiasm, motivation, the whole thing, you've got to believe. You've got to believe. And so you need to be an orange that's squeezed, and as you squeeze it, orange juice comes out.
Love it big time. This analogy is amazing, and it's go hand in hand with what's going on with a lot of people in life. You talk to them and they tell, why you did that? I said, because he told me that, because he rubbed me the wrong way, because he ignored me. But if he ignore you, or if he rub you the wrong way, what is inside, that's what come out. If there is good stuff inside,
exactly,
good stuff will come out. It's not like swearing, it's not like, it's how you react. And you are responsible for your reaction. What he does, or what the other person does, or what any circumstances, it is outside of you. What you are responsible for is how you react. So if you look like an orange, as you said, it shouldn't be apple juice come out, it should be orange juice.
Yes.
I love it.
100%.
I love it. It's really relevant, and it's amazing, because you can't get something totally different from something that's supposed to give what is supposed to be there. And you mentioned a lot goals. Goals in life. How important those in for people to focus on?
Well, I think, you know, the one thing that the goal does, it's your directional link. It's exactly what you want. So when I'm talking with people now, it's quite interesting, because I say to people, let's talk about what it is you want. And people say, oh, well, I want this and I want that and I want that. And there's no emotion. And I'm like, no, you're not telling me the truth. Because, you know, if you want something badly enough, you're going to have a lot of passion. You're going to have a lot of heart. You're going to have a lot of excitement. You are going to be so convincing. You know, you're going to blow my mind away. But people say, yeah, I'd like a new car. What car do you want? Now, let me just show you something, because you may be able to see it. Because I believe in, no more excuses actually, but I believe in a dream book. I've got my big dream board, but most of the time I'm not here. So I take my dream book with me, because that's great being on the wall, but I'm not in the office. 100%. So I have a dream book as well. And what I actually do is that I have, I actually do all the pictures. I don't know if you can see that, and absolutely everything in there. But this is the car that I wanted.
Oh, dude, nice.
And it's an Audi A8, and it's a long wheelbase one. So anyway, I actually put it in there, and I actually put the date down on there. There we go, May 2017. You might be able to see it. Anyway, May 2017. So this is my dream book. Anyway, this was my dream car, but I could tell you all about it. I can tell you what engine's in it. I can tell you, you know, what heated seats are in it, what air conditioning's in it. I knew everything about this car, so I knew I was going to get it. So if you say, oh, I want a new car like a Mercedes, and tell me about this Mercedes then. Well, I want a Mercedes. Well, you're not going to get it.
Specific.
Because there's nothing there, you know. Now, I said that, I even put a date on it, May 2017. I picked the car up on the 6th of April, 2017. So I got it, and I've never actually missed a goal. But the thing is, One of my latest goals, I'll just quickly show you this because I can't do too much about it, but I don't know if you can ever see that or not. But anyway, so it's a house. And that's my new house. That's the house that I want. That's the house that we're going to buy. That house is not up for sale yet. It's not on the market. I guarantee you the way this works, because I've put so much energy into getting the house, that house will come on the market exactly the right time and I will buy it.
100%. I believe
110%.
Yeah, because it's all about visualization.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, we do, we obviously get the dream books and what have you, then we do all the affirmations behind it to make sure we get it. Like for this house, for example, I'm extremely grateful and thankful that now we have brought and live in our dream house, which is, and I can tell you the address, I can tell you everything. I drive past that house every day to go and get coffee. I don't need to, I detour. Every day I drive past that house. Every day I sit outside that house for 10 minutes and visualize it. The people who live there probably think some nutter outside looking at our house. But you know, this is how it works. You back it with affirmations, you back it up with your dream card. You are grateful for what you're getting and it works 100% of the time. But I always say to someone, if you can't feel that in your heart, if your goal doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. Because, you know, I can say, oh, yeah, I want a new car, and that's fine, I get a new car. But what new car do you want? What's it about? What color? The whole thing, you know?
100%. If your goals doesn't scare you, it's not big enough.
Correct.
Love that. And that's just remind me of what his name, Tony Robbins. He used to be like a janitor, and he said, I was like a janitor, and they see like 2 years from that, he said I was visualizing, and they knew I will have my own big house, and he the same thing he described. Yeah. And like that big house with a big swimming pool, and they will have my own like jet, like my own plane and stuff like that. And he's talking about that story, and he said that house with the office facing the ocean and everything, and now I have it. It's about dedication, it's about commitment, it's about goals. That you said, you have to be specific. I want that Mercedes, but you don't just say I want that Mercedes. What color of Mercedes, which year, which that, and you become, because wherever emotion go, wherever energy goes, emotion, wherever emotion flow, energy go.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% of the time.
100%, my friend, 100%. And you just give us some golden nugget, dreams book, affirmation, and just you have to back up that with work. We don't just sit there and say, okay, I want that house, that beautiful house, and sit there and hope for I pray to God that will happen.
Yeah. But you have I work about 18 hours a day right now because my goal is this house. It's going to be very expensive. That's okay. I will be able to afford it, you know, but I do podcasts like this, which are great fun. You know, I do mentoring with people on one-to-one basis. I do public speaking. I do coaching. I do the whole lot, you know, but I do it for one reason, and that's to help people transform their lives, you know, and that's why I do this free 30-minute coaching session. I want to get to know someone. And if I don't believe I can take that person on the journey, then I'll tell them, you need to go and find somebody else. I don't think I can achieve it with you. Because for me, it's not about the money. I always believe whatever you give is what you'll get back. At the moment, I have 37 people on my coaching program, and only 25 of them pay. The other ones are down on their luck. So I've said, it's okay, join the program. Let's get you moving. When you earn the money, you can pay me for the program. Yeah, because it's not about take, it's about let's give, let's try and help. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think it's really important, but I do try and build everything that I do. I build it around a story. So for example, I'll give you a great analogy is like, I believe in looking after people well. And I've trained with lots of companies, and I've said to them, if you look after your employees, they will serve you well. Now, let me give you, because I tell stories and that's okay. But I want you to imagine that there's a couple, and then the guy decides to ask the question and goes, darling, I love you. Will you marry me? Hopefully she says yes. Otherwise, this doesn't work. Anyway, so she says, yes, of course I will. And then an average couple, and I think it was Brian Tracy I got this from, but an average couple then spends 40 hours a week planning the wedding, the horses, the carriage, the priest, the reception, everything. And it gets to the day and it's like, will you take me to be your, yes, thank you very much. So that's the wedding. Then the marriage starts the next day, and the average couple spends less than 5 hours a week planning their marriage. So they spend 40 hours a week to the big build-up of it. They get the bit of silver on their finger, and then they only spend 5 hours a week planning the rest of their life, their marriage. Well, it's the wrong way around, you see. And that's why I was telling employers, because I do a lot of coaching for some firms, and I'm saying, you know, if you put all the energy into recruiting the right person, and then you don't back it up and look after them, then you're going to lose them. And that's why we have the largest divorce rate in the world in the UK now. And that's because people don't care. They put too much energy into getting the deal done, but they don't look after their employees.
Love it.
And that's with my coaching program. You know, it's one thing to say, yeah, okay, come and join my coaching program. But if I don't give them 100% service, then I'm doing them an injustice. Because I need to give them 35 years of experience. That's what I need to give them. I know I say to people, you know, this is going to be like a marriage, this is, but we're going to put a lot of energy into the marriage, not just the wedding.
Wow. That just reminds me of The Bank of Emotion by Stephen Covey. He said, like people, like just like what you said, but he said, like, you have to have emotional bank of emotion. When you deposit, it will grow. When you withdraw, it will start getting to the minus. So you should have a bank of emotion with each one in your life. It doesn't matter. So with your father, you have a bank of emotion, a nice word, keep your word, doing duty, helping them, you deposit in. So your relationship with that person is growing. Like what happened when you mentioned about like a divorce happened, because at the beginning, everyone deposit a flower, breakfast, bringing it to the bed, and everything. So the first year is everything's going good. Everyone depositing in each other in bank of emotion. After the first year, they start withdrawing. Take, no nice word, nothing. Honey, bring me breakfast. No, you can do it yourself. Honey, bring. So it starts getting to the minus. So it becomes negative.
Yes.
And that harmony, that love, that everything that was happening is starting the minus, not in the plus anymore. So that's why a lot of divorce happening. And I love the way Stephen Covey put it in this book, the Bank of Emotion. And if we use that with anybody, and you are doing that for your coaching program, I really like that, because Ian, you didn't reach where you are by yourself. Someone have to believe in you. Someone have to lend your hand and get you where you are, but you have to put the work. It's not, a lot of people, they have potential, they can succeed, but they need that hand that they already reached the top to believe in them and pull them. When you pull that person up with you to the top, you give them a chance, and they will help you out by recognizing you, by believing in what you are doing for this program. You said there is people that they are not paying, but you know their value. You know they are committed, and they will contribute, and when they will reach the top, they will recognize that.
Yes,
And
totally.
I wish the society is like that, because there is kids that you see them like they have a lot of potential, and you see them on the street. And what will happen if I give $100, or maybe believe in that kids, and if I see it, and that kids, it will be a successful person. But the problem is our society program is so bad that it's all about what is for me. It's not what is for the other. We take more than we give. And when we give, that's where there is happiness.
Yeah. I think you have to give, you know, and I think a lot of people do love the drama. I'll give you one more analogy of this now. And
I love your analogy. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll give you two actually. My daughter did a test for me. She has hundreds of people on her Facebook. And so I said, all I want you to do is I want you to put on Facebook, you'll never believe what happened to me today, full stop. So she did. And she had hundreds of people saying, oh, are you okay, babe? Do you want me to come round? Are you upset? And all this sort of stuff. So anyway, she had 300 to 400 people write to her. So then I had, about a month later, another daughter, they both got loads of friends on there, said, "You'll never believe what happened to me today. I got a new job." And she had 6 people reply saying, "Well done." Yeah.
6.
So you see, everyone, 400 saying, "Are you okay, babe? Do you want me to come round?" And 6 people, because we had good news, only 6 people. Yeah. And that's the interest. Now, there's the other analogy I'll give you is that when I'm doing my coaching program with people, I say to them, "How many people have you got as friends?" And they'll say, "Oh, I've got 300 to 500. And I'll say, "No, you've probably got 5 to 10. The reason being, have you ever heard of quicksand? It's a sand where if you stand in this quicksand, it generally pulls you down and down and down till eventually it will suffocate you. It will kill you."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have another name for this as well. It's the quicksand crowd, the crowd of people. And these are the people who say to you, "It will never happen. Get yourself a proper job. Go to the pub." They're constantly pulling you down, just like quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
And I call them the quicksand crowd. They are people who just don't want you to be successful. And what you have to learn to do, you have to learn to park those people out of your business. And, the 5 to 10 people are left will be more value to you than the 400 people telling you it can't happen. There'll be so much more value to you. Mm-hmm. And we all know that, 95% of the money goes to 5% of the people. And they're the people that get rid of this quicksand crowd. They're the people who only surround themselves with people who are encouraging them to do well. Yeah, they're the ones that, and then obviously 5% of the money goes to 95% of the people. They're the people at the pub. They're the people that tell you it'll never happen. They're the people that say it doesn't happen to people like you. Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to be in the 5% that earns 95% of the money, because then I can give back to society and help lots of people.
And I guarantee you that you will be successful, and you already are, because you see what is on the other side. You've been there and you lived it, and you give back.
Yeah.
And the abundance, because you act from a place of abundance. It's not a place of scarcity. No. Unfortunately, there is some people, they are so poor, all they have is money.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because they are not grateful.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, "Okay, I will be grateful when I'm happy." That will never happen. That will never happen.
No, it's the wrong way around.
Be grateful, and you will be happy with 1 penny in your pocket.
Yes, it's the wrong way around. People always say that, "Oh, when I'm rich, I'll be happy." And it's like, no, you get happy and you'll become rich.
You will never reach that. And I think we have 3 minutes left. Okay. And we will wrap up this. I really like those 2 analogies you used for your daughter, like 300 common for like just being a victim or try to get attention. Yes. And when you do something that's proper about responsibility, about commitment, 6 common.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what Facebook is about. It's about fake word. Make people leave. You have like 5,000 friends, or some people have like more. But when you really, those friends, are they really friends? Or just like some people get that approval from the click. How many people click on my comment? How many people like my comment? And people get excited. It's almost like gambling. They just like jump. Oh my God, like I didn't get any click today. Oh my God, what's happened? It's as
why didn't I like my post?
Yeah, why don't
how come you didn't like my post? Oh, actually, I'm falling out with you now.
Yeah, I think it starts like panic. Like, why didn't you like his post? You don't like mine. Did you do something wrong with? And people get panicky and stuff like that. So it is. I think we should one of the good topic to be a public speaker, to do like how to get people out of your phone. 5 strategy to get people get rid of your phone.
Yeah, exactly. Put it in the drawer. I always have my phone face down when I'm on a meeting like this or talking to people. It's on silent. It's face down. I don't care what's happening to that phone. Mm-hmm. I want to give that person my attention. And if that thing keeps flashing up in front of me, it's like, It's like, whoa. Put it in the drawer. Turn it off. Throw it out the window. Do something.
I will check it when I'm ready. It's not like the phone is going to control me. I am controlling the phone.
Yes.
And when we reach that, that's probably will be the happiest moment. And people when they go like on the weekend, they leave their phone and they go to the nature,
Yeah.
and they come back and it's oh God, like how fresh I feel, how connected I am.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it is like it's like the computer, like you are working on it all day and it starts to get so warm, but you have to restart it. And
Yeah.
you start it and it's like all nice and fresh and it's working and it's not slow. The same thing with our brain. And the studies show that if you are in front of the screen of the phone for a while, like it show all around the brain, it's
Yeah.
actually kill a lot of cells in your brain, and you become kind of slow to react to information.
You'll never see me with this phone. You'll never see me doing that with the phone ever. I always have a link because I've seen all the research, you know, these things, because I've seen all the research. And if you have your brain there, it warms up your brain. It does. You know, and for me, it's like, nah, I'll have a cold brain. Thank you.
Yeah, I will keep my brain fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, my friend, it's been really a pleasure. It's been really amazing. You share so many golden nuggets. What is something to finish this early dose of inspiration for this beautiful audience, for a potential client in the future, who know? And I would like you to share with them golden nugget to finish this with and wrap this up.
Okay, the one thing I would say is, you know, everyone should have a mentor because they're good. But be careful who you get. If someone won't sit you down and say, I'm going to give you a free consultation to see whether we have any chemistry, then run a mile, run away. The one thing you need to have, if you're going to have a mentor, if you're going to have a trainer, whatever label you want to put on it, you need someone who's done the experience in the field, not just read the books. You also need someone who's there for your interest, not theirs. And so if it's all about the money, then don't go with that person. Don't go with that person, you know, because it's wrong. It's not about the money. It's about what result can that person help you to get. Yeah. Wow. So my golden nugget will be work with someone who believes in you, not someone who believes in how much money you're about to hand over.
Love that.
Very important.
So deep. Someone who believes in what's in your brain, not in what in your pocket.
Yeah.
And that's go a long way.
Yeah.
Because the money could finish, but the knowledge never finish if you keep always feeding that brain.
Correct.
Time, you can't buy time. You can't borrow time, and you can't save time. But you can borrow money, you can save money, and you can make money.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, my friend. And thank you very much, the audience, for joining Ali Dose of Inspiration. And I appreciate my guest today. He been so wonderful and shared so many amazing golden nuggets. Thanks, my friend.
It's been great. Okay, we'll do it again soon.